I'm Najat, born in Spain, San Sebastian. My parents from Teza, up in the mountains outside of a couple of hours from Fez. And I'm lucky enough to be here right now in Marrakesh. So I used to be this little girl making bread with grandma and my aunts and all the women like we do in Morocco. And one day I dreamed of magic, and magic for me it was to see how other professional chefs used to make their food and how they used to create dinners, playing and using all the senses. So I ended up working for training with a couple of the best people we could have in the last 10 years with Granacke at Linea, which I've never was in the United States, and then going to such a professional kitchen. And when I first saw him plating a dish, I already knew that there was that magic inside of me to be able to do like he did, but using my culture, using who I was as a Moroccan. No, like Granacke used to say, you're not just a chef. Then I got the opportunity to be at Nommé in Copenhagen with René, where I learned to survive just with the products that we have around. You know, in Morocco we have a lot of amazing magical products where we could feed the whole planet. We send our olive oil, we send our olives, we send our spices, I mean, name it. You go to the markets and they're full of life, eh? And that's what Morocco is, Moroccan cuisine and culture. From there I went back to Granacke at Linea because he was one of my favorites. From there I went to the French Laundry in Napa, where I learned the essence of urgency. Not in a French way, but in an American way, with a French philosophy, but with the nature of Napa Valley, which is unique and magical. And one of the things I did learn there is that discipline, that energy, that way of doing things that is in the moment, is the gravity of understanding that we cook because we love and we want to make our people happy, our guests, because I never have clients, I have guests, people who come and enjoy, and I don't feed stomachs, I feed their souls, that's the magic for me within the culture that I learned with my parents, which are Moroccan family from the mountains that you may think they have nothing, but they had a lot. People would pay nowadays a lot just to have that culture. The next thing I did, it was to go to Per Se in New York City, a city where it's full of cultures and everyone accepts everyone and people exist and coexist and they do everything. And learn how to be in a Russian space, but keeping a culture and tradition, and at the same time working with such a discipline, in such a restaurant that belongs also to Thomas Keller. And from there I was lucky. People will say lucky, but I fought for many years to convince the people at the Bouilly and Ferran Adrià that I had to be there. There was no possible that the restaurant was gonna close without me being participant of that magic. It was the most important thing for me at that time. How did I get there? One day I woke up and I wanted to make magic, but more than that, I saw a magical video from Heston Blumenthal, who had the Fat Duck in England. And he was playing with nitrogen, and he was playing with dry ice, and I could see my childhood of that Moroccan girl who dreamt of the flavor of vanilla going through my life around the Medina of Fez and understanding food and the market and the powerful message that my culture had. And there I was in the best restaurants where I believed that I had to be something else, that it wasn't me, but that's not true. Each one of them, they were making a cuisine and they were representing something that there was in themselves. And there I was, this Moroccan girl who wanted to be like them, but why? I am so happy being me the Moroccan girl, me the Moroccan with the Moroccan culture, me with my Moroccan cuisine, even if I make it look like a piece of art or a painting. It is about my food and my culture, my essence, everything what I am. I can't be something else I'm not. So if people accept you not, that's something else. You have to be proud of who you are. Proudness is not about being better than others. It's about this is who I am. My name is Najat. This is what I've been eating my whole life. I learned and ate and had so many experiences. I've been in from jumping in the White House to teaching at Harvard University, NYU, to going to Beijing, to cook for the mayor, to do a lot of things in science behind food, and there I was. There I am today in Marrakesh, explaining to people that I come for a magical, mystical, awesome culture. So when I was accepted, when I sent 49 letters to the 49 best restaurants in the world, in 3 days I got 27 answers. And I could choose to where I wanted to go. To each one of them, I took my time, my energy, and my effort to explain to them why I wanted to be part of their kitchen. These 27, I made this journey to go through all these restaurants. The only one that I missed, it was Ferran Adria. And while I was at the French Laundry, I got an email from Marcus Pinera, his right hand, and said, well, if you come, you have to do 2010, 2011, the last 2 years. And I said, of course. I was the only Moroccan human who spent that time there. I was the only female. I was like a lion. I made not many friends, I can say. My friends were the top guys because my ambition and my goal was to learn as much as I could and to take that opportunity as something very unique. You don't get to do that. I finished in creativity, making dishes for Ferran, and that was the most, that was the, like Oprah Winfrey will say, the most aha moment that the human being could have, you know, to be able to make food for the best chef we had in history. From there, I partnered with the White House chef, Bill Yosses. I was teaching science. Science for me was the magical way of knowing why things happen in food, why molecular is not just what Ferran did, that molecular is my grandmother's chicken soup is also molecular. We have to change the way how we put names into cuisines. So I remember at El Bulli cooking for Ferran a lot of Moroccan dishes, and he will tell me, you know, I don't know this cuisine. We are neighbors. They're Spain, Morocco, we've been neighbors for our whole life. And he didn't know the Moroccan cuisine. It was surprising for me. He will eat and he will say, wow, it was delicious. And I'll be, well, that's my grandmother's humble food. But there he was, the #1 chef, who was telling me that this food, it was amazing. So what better gratificant sentence you can have than from the best chef? Obviously, for me, it's the best cuisine that exists in the world. Knowing history is the only way to understand many other cultures, many links between us and Latin America, between us and Spain. But we have to know culture. We can't just say, this is mine and it's not his. We have to understand how people moved in that time, how they crossed the borders, how they brought spices, how they brought chilies, so many different techniques, you know. I mean, from this side of the world to the other side of the world, the technology of how to make ceilings, the technology of how to make glass, the technology of how to make ceramic. This technology is not technology of an iPhone. It's a technology that it comes from this side of the world that goes all out. And the same with food. The same many techniques, you know, that we as Moroccan have to say, hey, we got this technique so long ago. We cook this way. We use these foods. We use these spices. So now our Moroccan cuisine is not very known in the world. It's one of the many healthy ones. It's one of the ones that makes you fly the most because it's very energetic, using all the herbs, the spices. It has the cure within itself. So how do we promote Moroccan cuisine? I don't think we have to promote. I think we have to keep on sharing, but using our own techniques. There are techniques in Morocco that I used in many different countries, and they say, what is this? I say, well, we do this in the mountains. But then I come to another city in Morocco and I say, oh, I'm Moroccan, I do this technique. No, this is not Moroccan cooking. I say, yes, it's Moroccan cooking. So within our country, within Morocco, we don't know the different cuisines many times. We don't know that Tetuan they cook one way, in Teza they cook one way, in Fez they cook similar to Teza perhaps, but in Marrakesh, it's different. And in Rabat is different, and in Casa is different. So I think it's about coming together, it's about sitting all in the same table and sharing that knowledge so we could not work individually, just together. The only way, like Obama says, the only way that we can make a change and powerfully show our beautiful culture. And it's not about recipes. I don't care about recipes. I care about culture. Culture is what we have in different mountains. Culture is what we have in different parts of this country that many times we don't know. This is how they grow, this is how they eat, and that's it. And they don't know they have such a magical powers. And then you go around the world and then someone else is cooking Moroccan food, and I'm like, how is this possible? He don't know about Moroccan, never been in Morocco, is creating a business in Moroccan cuisine. So I believe it's time for Moroccans to say, hey, this is our culture. It comes from here. This is our history. And do it in a very political way, good, with peace and harmony and food on the table. I just came back from Mexico. I have very good, strong relationships in Mexico, and I work with different ambassadors. So with foreign affairs, what we have done is the global gastronomy event for traditional cooks. Here you call them chefs, but they are traditional people who are cooking their own culture. So I was chosen to do the Moroccan one, and I can tell you that our space, our room, there were over 1,000 people. There was no space. We had to open more in the corridor because people were interested from different countries to know about the Moroccan cuisine. Not just that they wanted to eat, they wanted to taste. So for 4 days with Foreign Affairs, we had created in Latin America the most booming event with the most magical cuisine. Everyone wanted to know, everybody wanted to taste, everybody wanted to visit Morocco. When you are able to do that, it's a very powerful tool to bring people together with a mystical, magical culture. Working with the different authorities within Mexico to understand how the similarities between Mexico and Morocco, which no one talks about this, but I work with the Conservatorium, which is the most powerful organization in Mexico to be able to preserve and cultivate and take care of culture within food all around Mexico. But what happens with that? Why am I mentioning this? Because the first immigrants from Spain into Mexico, they were a mix of Moorish who spent 7-8 centuries in the south of Spain. So they brought with them all spices, they brought with them so many techniques, they brought with them culture from this side of the world to Latin America. So that was my interest, to understand our link between, for example, Mexico and Morocco. The other one is I'm coming back to Morocco to open one of the most humble and magical spaces in a city where it's not Rabat and it's not Casa and it's not Marrakesh, because there are so many amazing, great chefs. Not because of that I loved all of them, but it's because I belong to Fez. I walked in Fez barefoot with my papa. I went to the market every day, every year, and the Medina is a mystical place for someone like me who has been all around the world. So many people say, why Fez? People don't see Fez as the Mecca of food. I don't know if it's a Mecca, if it's not, but it's a place where for me it's very important. Marrakesh has amazing, crazy, the most powerful places for food, for drinking, for anything. But Fez is my childhood, and I do believe that everyone who cooks and is a chef goes back to where they come from. I was born in Europe, I've been everywhere, but going back to Fez is like bringing one little piece of light for my city. piece of light that it's important. Literally, I mean, I'm gonna have light on the roof so people will know that the place is there. But it's a way of expressing through the language of food for me from my city, even if I wasn't born there, but my spirit is from there and my blood to the world. And I know I can bring a lot of people from outside just to be curious and to understand who is this Moroccan girl who's been everywhere and now is here in her little space in the middle of the Medina of Fez. أنا نجاة ممتازة وتعبونا هنا في جوهرة تيفي.